Hello everyone, this is Braden with Red Mountain Reptiles, and today is just going to be a reptile room tour video because I haven't done one of those in a long time, and I've recently added some stuff to my collection, including a new type of snake I never thought I'd get into. I mainly specialize in colubrids, but I'm getting into some more like different type of snakes, so you'll see that in this video. If you guys like these videos, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and hope you enjoy. Alright, so up first we have a high white extreme reverse okeetee female. We bought this from Bud Folds. The company name is Bud's Bloods. He specializes in corn snakes. And yeah, we bought this female from him at the Orlando show back in December. I think it was the 11th we bought him. And yeah, she's grown really well. We're looking for a male for her so we can start breeding her. Hopefully next year we can get her up to size, or the year after. And the high white basically just takes away all the red, or at least the majority of the red. You can see there's not very much red on her at all. There's a couple of spots every now and then, but yeah, it basically takes away the majority of the red and enhances the orange around the saddles, so it looks like an orange and white snake. Alright, so up next we have a granite pie-sided corn snake. We got this from Bud Folds as well, and pie-sided is not really a type of corn snake you see very often. They kind of just got introduced to the United States as far as I'm concerned. And what it does is it takes away the pattern on the side here, and you can see there's mostly just pattern only on the top, and on the side it's completely white. This is my female. I'll be buying a male for her hopefully this year when Bud comes out with some more, and I'll be breeding her hopefully next year along with the male. Okay, so up next is this albino motley corn snake. This one is het for butter and snow. I produced this one myself, and this is the only holdback. This is a male, and we kept him back. There's nothing too special. We really kept him back because he also kind of has a white-sided pattern. As you can see, there's not very much color on the side, and it takes away, or he doesn't have very much red. It's mostly white, and for every shed he goes through, he tends to start losing more and more of his red coloration and turning more white. So we decided to hold him back for now to see if he turns completely white-sided, and we are probably going to end up breeding him to one of our snow females. This is my female Enchi Scaleless, possible het Palmetto. I got this also from Bud Folds. I got this at the Orlando show in December, and let me see. Again, this is scaleless, so it doesn't have any scales on its body, so it feels very smooth. It's often referred to as kind of feeling like rose petals. This snake is about, I wouldn't say that old, maybe 6 months old, 5 months old, somewhere around there. I have a male Palmetto possible het Scaleless that I'll be showing you in a minute, and this is going to be the pairing for her, and hopefully out of this we could get some Enchi Scaleless Palmettos. Next up is this Enchi Palmetto het, or possible het Scaleless, that's going to be breeding with our Enchi Scaleless possible het Palmetto. I got this one from Ethan from South Florida Reptiles, but this was originally produced by, again, Bud Folds. He does have, so in some palmettos they have what's called the bug eye, and it just makes their eyes enlarged, and you can see here that his eyes are enlarged a little bit. Typically this isn't an issue with the palmettos. It doesn't change anything, and they could still live perfectly fine. But it is a pretty weird. So I guess I don't really want to say deformity, but it's a weird thing that goes on with mainly palmettos, and sometimes leucistic Texas rats has the bug eye as well. Next up here is a ghost diffused white-sided striped female corn snake, and she is about, I think she's about 4 months old. I bought her, she was very late in 2022, so she's pretty young, but I bought this at Orlando, this past Orlando show that actually just happened in January, and I'm not sure, I can't remember who I bought this from, but I bought her because of the really cool genetics, and I thought it'd be really cool to get into that kind of ghost project. I actually have a pair of coral ghosts I'll be breeding, so this female will just go as a trio for all of the ghost projects I have. It's kind of like a vanishing stripe. I can't remember if I wrote that down. Yeah, it's a vanishing stripe. So for every shed it gets, it starts to lose the stripe down its back, and it turns completely gray. You can see down here on its back, the majority of it's basically gray, and there's not really a stripe anymore. And it's got some black speckling on its back as well, which again it'll lose as it gets older. So, but yeah, I bought this female to kind of keep the ghost bloodline going. All right, so next up we have a Toffee belly hognose snake. These are the first hognoses I'm really getting into. I used to have a pair back then. It was a normal anaconda, but I ended up selling them a while ago and decided to get into some more higher end stuff like the Toffee belly. I'm not really sure how old this snake is. I bought this from Ethan at South Florida Reptiles, and yeah, I'm not really sure how old he is. I just know he's an older, I'm thinking close to a year. I don't know too much about hognoses, but I do know that they could take up to like 4 or 5 years to before they're ready for breeding. So I bought a little bit of an older pair, so hopefully he will probably be ready to breed next year. However, the female will probably need another extra year before breeding, but she's close to his size. They're really friendly. Hognoses typically have a pretty sassy attitude, but he's actually pretty friendly and well handled. He eats really well as well, and I actually highly recommend buying from South Florida Reptiles. They have really good stuff. I buy a lot of my collection is from them, so I do recommend buying from them as well. Next up is this female Toffee belly, about the same age as the male. They're probably from the same clutch, but she is a little smaller. She's a little more red as well. I use the card technique here to get her out because I'm not sure. Oh, never mind, she's fine. So, yeah, you can probably see that she is a little more red, or you might not be able to see it, but she is a little more red, and she is a little smaller, but she's eating frozen thawed large pinkies really well. And again, this is why they're called toffee bellies. It's because of their toffee colored bellies. It's kind of checkered, and it's kind of like the color of toffee, so that's kind of how they get their name. And yep, this is the female. It's going to be going with the male. Again, she's pretty friendly too. She can be a little, I guess a little snippy, but she's calming down really easily, and she's starting to get better now. Alright, so now we're getting to some older snakes, yearlings, getting close to 2 years old, kind of age group. So this is an Abbott's okeetee male. We have a female that's actually an adult. She's in brumation right now, and there'll be a video coming out on that very soon. And that's gonna be, I'll be showcasing all the adults we have for breeding next year. These are more babies and younger snakes, and some ball pythons as well. So, yep. So this is an Abbott's okeetee male. He's a little quick. Let me see, I don't really need to use the lid, but yeah, he's a little quicker. He's pretty friendly though. He doesn't bite or anything. And what Abbott's okeetee is, it's basically, so a man named Lee Abbott, actually is where this one came from. He, actually along with the female too, he polygenically bred okeetees for years, which means that when you polygenically breed something, you breed, let's say you have 2 okeetees, you breed them, you take the prettiest of the prettiest from that clutch and breed those together, and then keep going and going until you get something like this. Because a normal okeetee looks nothing like this. The colors are much different. This has much more orange. The bands are much more outlined and black. You can see the tail here is mostly just black, which is a very interesting thing that again happens with Abbott's. This male, it's about a year old. He might be a little older. He's growing really fast. I might try to breed him with my female. He is pretty young. I might try though. If he ends up proving out, then I'll brumate him next year, but I thought he was too small this year, so I didn't bother trying. But I might try to breed. He might do it, he might not. I have a backup male planned, or maybe I'll talk to some breeders to see if I can borrow an Abbott's. But yeah, this is basically what they look like, and in the next video, the brumation video, you'll see what our adult female looks like as well. Alright, so next up we have this pair here of coral pink salmon ghost tesseras. The female is more of a stripe than a tessera, and the male is a better example of a tessera, and you'll see that in a minute. And again, these two are housed together right now just for this video. They're not housed together like when they're normally living upstairs, but just for this video, I have them together to kind of show you the difference between the two. And they'll be breeding next year. They're not quite big enough to breed just yet, but they will be breeding next year. All right, so right off the bat here, this is the male. He's a better example of what a tessera really looks like. He's very pink. He has the coral pink colors. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera, because it's harder to pick up pinks on camera. But trust me, in real life, he's very pink, and he is super beautiful. And again, tessera on the side, you can see the stripe on the back. This is a much better example of what a tessera really looks like. And let me put him back. And next up is this female. She is more of a ghost stripe. She's not really a tessera. She's actually a very special snake. I've never really seen a snake, especially a ghost, ever really look like this. So again, yeah, this is a ghost stripe, and she will be breeding with this male again next year. You can see some yellow kind of at the neck. The majority of ghosts will have that, and again, anything with really tessera and motley and stuff, they'll have a pretty much blank belly. And yeah, so she's very special, very different. You don't see a lot of snakes like this, so I thought I'd pick her up. I bought this actually from Lee at Daytona a while back. It was back in August in 2022, so she's had some time to grow, and she'll definitely be breeding next year. All right, next up, these are two separate snakes. Again, they're not housed together. These are two females. The first one is the extreme pink salmon snow, and the next one is an extreme red tessera, and this is het for palmetto. So I'll show you the difference. I'll show you which is which. So right here, this is the female extreme pink snow. She's about a year old, and I'm sure on camera you won't really be able to tell her true pink. It'll probably look more like I don't know, more dull. But I promise you, in person, she's very pink, almost the color of cotton candy. She's really friendly. I bought this from Lee, again at Daytona, so she's definitely had some time to grow, and she will be breeding next year. Actually, with the male, I'll be showing you in the brumation video a coral salmon snow. Not as pink as her, but definitely pink. And she has something pretty special about her. She has a green belly. You can see, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but you can see her belly here has a bunch of green checkered pattern on there, which is something really cool that happens randomly with the snow genetic in corn snakes. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool thing. And next up here is this extreme. Well, when we bought it, we actually bought this snake when it came out of the egg, like fresh out of the egg. It was only about a day old, not even. And it was pink. It was completely pink, and there's no really any red on it whatsoever. And for every shed it got, it just became more and more and more red, and it's het for Palmetto, so we decided to keep her back for future breeding projects, and we thought, hey, maybe we'll find a male for her or something. We might breed her with the Anri Palmetto you saw earlier in the video. Not sure yet. Again, I bought this from Abbott. This snake is very special. She has tons of red on her, and like no more pink. She used to be completely pink when she was a baby, but for every shed she just turned more and more and more red, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, she has a completely white belly, kind of like a pie-sided sort of neck. I don't know if she has any pie-sided in her, but she does kind of have a neck. It's kind of hard to see because it's right on her head here, but she's definitely a special animal for sure, and she'll be breeding next year. She is a little bit of a slower grower, but once she gets on large, like medium mice, then she'll start really growing. All right, so next up here we have a pastel pied het lavender ball python. She is about not really sure. We bought this from Ward and Brittany from WWORP Reptiles, but they didn't produce it. It was from someone else's stock. So I'm kind of guessing this snake is probably about, oh man, what do you think, like a year? Maybe? I'm not really sure. But she's super friendly. She doesn't bite. I mean, she doesn't have really an attitude. Again, what Pastel does in ball pythons is it just makes everything much more brighter. So what you can see, the pattern you can see, is just a lot more brighter. Typically in a ball python, it'd be much more dark. If you look on the head, it's a lot more dark than it is on the back. She's got some pretty cool speckles on her. Like right here, it's kind of like an X. It's actually kind of like a perfect X. And again, she will probably be breeding next year. I don't really have anything planned for her yet. I just got into ball pythons. I'm actually going to a show in West Palm Beach, and while I'm there, I'm gonna be picking out some ball pythons, and I'm also gonna be filming the video for you guys to see. And yeah, she's definitely something really cool to add to the collection. I mainly do colubrids, but I guess now I'm doing ball pythons. Okay, so this is a black pastel pied. I got this from Ward and Brittany from WWORP Reptiles from this past Orlando show we just went to. And so I don't know much about ball pythons. I just know that if you get a black pastel pied and another black pastel pied, you can create what's called a bamboo pied, and they're worth like apparently like $2,500, $3,000. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. She's a friendly snake. She hasn't eaten yet. Frozen thawed. She's used to live, so we're gonna keep trying to get her on frozen thawed. But yeah, she's definitely a really pretty snake. She's a very high expression pied for sure. She has very little pattern to her, and the majority of it's very white. So yeah, she's definitely a very, very good snake to have. Very good for breeding. And yeah, that's pretty much it for her. Alright, next up is this Orange Dream Spider Fire. This is from Ward and Brittany from WWORP Reptiles. She's eating frozen thawed medium mice, so she's friendly too. Every ball python I've bought from them is very friendly, very easy to handle. I'm actually looking for a male for her at this West Palm Beach show I'm going to. So hopefully I'll be able to find something, and if I do, I'll update you guys. I'll post another video of what I came home with, and again, I'll post a video of the show. Yeah, she's very friendly. Not too much else to say about it. I mean, Fire, I'm pretty sure is a incomplete dominant trait. Spider's also an incomplete, and so is Orange Dream, which means if you bred any of those genes to, let's say, a normal ball python, you could still produce Fire, Spiders, and Orange Dreams. Alright, next up, this is an Enchi pied. This is a male, so the last two I just showed you were all females. This one's a male. He's more of a low expression pied. He's probably going to end up breeding with my pastel pied, so we can produce pastel pieds, pastel Enchi pieds, and some normal pieds. So I thought I'd just pick him up. He'd be pretty cool for breeding. I'm actually looking to get into some, after my pied collection's done, I'm probably going to get into some banana, some exanthic, and definitely some clown stuff. So again, there'll be update videos on that. I'll be getting a lot more ball pythons in the collection, so I'll keep updating everyone on that. Yeah, he's super friendly. Hopefully I can get him to breed next year, if I keep, because males don't gotta be that big, so hopefully I can get him to breed next year with the bigger female I was showing you, the pastel pied. So